Hello. Huh? Okay. How are everyone? Yeah, good morning. Morning power. Nytrix and Shashi. Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is gonna be very, very interesting. 好，来哈，稍等一下哈，等我把设置的都弄完。I want to share something with you. Oh, great. Yeah, share with me, Shashi. Would love to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. OK，直播介绍。好的，What's going on, my friend? Today is the college entrance examination, and let's see. So we're going to discuss a little bit about that. That's going to be the topic today. OK. 若高考. And right now, I'm actually writing an intro of this live stream. Um, so bear with me, and we will start very soon. OK. 若高考重来. OK，好了。Hola, hi. Okay. Yeah, and also, what's the pick for today? Let's see. What kind of accessories should we wear? Yeah. Okay. Wow, I haven't really started talking anything, and we already have over like a lot of. Well, just now I saw like 90 people, but now somehow it just somehow goes back to 80 people. That is amazing. Okay, guys. So today is the college entrance examination for China. Like we just said yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow is going to be the most important days in China, are going to be the most important days in China for the students because they're going to experience the exam, the college entrance examination here in China, and that is considered to be the most important exam here in China. Okay, so I personally, many years ago, also have experienced that as well. And I know how stressful that can be. 稍等一下，我穿个袜子啊，脚有点冷，穿个袜子都不把大家当外人了哈。Okay, yeah. Today, I complete 3 years in my current company and 8 years of professional career. Oh, so you seriously like yesterday when you said Shashi when you said yesterday that you're gonna write the paper and resign from your company? You're not joking. Like you seriously did it? Okay, congratulations on the new chapter of your life. I wish you all the best with your future endeavor. What do you plan to do afterwards? What do you plan to do afterwards? Do you have any specific plan after you have finished this old chapter of the 3 years in your company and 8 years? Well, you also said you just completed 8 years of professional career. Sounds like you have like completed your career, like you're moving to the next step. Like, what is the next step? I'm so curious. Share with us. Share with us. Yeah. Share with us. Okay. So we have like so many people here in this live stream room who has been working for a long time, right? So somehow the old days, the school days, the uni days, or the senior high school days are just a very, very far away memory for many of us, right? Including me. I still remember back in the days I attended the university entrance examination. So here in China, university entrance examination is considered to be the most important exam. And somehow we also have one thing that is called senior high school entrance examination, 中考和高考，对不对? So these 3 days nowadays in China, today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, are going to be the 3 days here in China that all the students who are in their 12th grade, 高三的学生, will have to attend. And they're not only attending for themselves to get into the best school, but also for the entire family's hope. Like the entire family is counting on them to be able to reach their high score and eventually can get into a very good university here in China, right? So, like for me, I started to really wonder if I could really relive my life. If I could really relive my life, what do I do? If I could redo this exam and just get into the university, what are the things that I would do? 4 days. Wait, why do you guys say 4 days? Like back in the days, I remember it's only 3 days. 高考是4天吗？高考不是应该3天吗？高考是3天还是4天？高考应该是3天吧？是有些省市是4天吗？我记得我当时是3天的。Where are you living? So cold you need wear? Wear what? No sleeves at all. It's pretty hot. 3天，对啊。丽贝卡说是2天，肯定是3天。江浙现在是4天哦，为什么是4天啊？他们除了考那个，就是那江浙4天，它是分别是怎么考的呢？为什么要4天啊？那就多一天，多一天就是多一天的 torture，多一天的折磨。我现在看小红书上面有很多人都说高考完要去干嘛干嘛干嘛，大家已经有很多的 plan，高考完要怎么样？3+3自己选的。对，上海这边也是3+3自己选的，我听说 college entrance examination. And somehow they say that it's not only now, but also in the springtime, there is a spring exam, okay? Spring exam. 哦，你当年是2天啊，哎呦，你真幸福啊，只有2天考试就考完了。啊，你要考 SAT 啊？啊，了不起的派大星，加油加油！Yeah, so there's also a not spring festival, sorry, spring exam. So there's a spring season, spring uni exam, and in the spring, and somehow what people would do is actually just take exams in spring, and somehow they would also have some strategy. So my teacher actually shared with me, like nowadays students would have this kind of strategy. For example, they would need to make sure for the first semester they just focus on certain subjects to make sure that these, for example, 3 subjects will reach higher score in the spring festival, so that for the next semester they need only focus on the rest of the subjects to make sure they reach the higher score in the fall. In the fall, wait, actually not fall, in the fall, yeah, actually and now actually in the summer. So well, there are like two chances compared to before. Nitrous, I want to quit and do business and tell, let me tell something interesting. Yeah, sure. Shashi, welcome to the entrepreneur team together with me. And you're now also planning to do a business, right? Start a business and be an entrepreneur just like me. Great choice. Great choice. Yeah, share with me more. Share with me more. Love to know. So, guys, this is a very close community, okay? For those of you who are new in here, if you haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me, okay? And also for those of you who haven't joined our family here on Red Note, here is our followers group. Don't forget to join in here, okay? This is our family. So, like from time to time, we would have our family members having birthday. Then every one of us will just be wishing this person happy birthday inside this live stream room. And also, you guys could also not only listen to me, but also share your personal life. Okay. Also, share your life. For example, Shashi is just sharing with me that she just quitted her job, a 3-year job, and also ended her 8 years of professional life because she started to do something for her own, okay, on her own, something to start a new business, which is fantastic, okay. There's a mosquito in here. When summertime comes, what I hate most is mosquito. Well then, hi little sister. Hi Louie the cat, little sister, entrepreneur club. Well, we encourage people to try all different kind of things and share their lives in here. So this is more like cross-culture sharing, life journey sharing, everything sharing. So it's a very close community, okay? It's a very close community. So welcome everyone to come in here. So, like, okay, so if you guys come in here and you saw me write this live intro, which is all about what I would do if I retake the university entrance examination, right? If I can retake my university, to be honest, like one of the thing I would do is actually really, really try something that's related to startup. Well, so for me, my personal journey is like this, okay? 骑窗看风景，朋友是这样的哈，你可以下载有一个 APP 叫讯飞听见。讯飞听见如果下完了以后的话，我讲英文它会有自动的中文翻译。这个是我们的宝子们推荐的，然后说就是可以帮助大家能够更好的学英文啊，来我这边去听，OK。So I was basically saying that, well, so I took on a professional life after graduating. The reason behind that was I was considered to be a pretty good girl, okay? Traditionally, by definition, the kind of good girl, okay? Back then in my senior high school, I was always the top student, was always really obeying to my parents' rules, like really listen to the teachers and whatever I do, it's just the stereotype of a good girls, okay? I was never rebellious at all, okay? I was always considered to be a good girl. So I do everything just according to what a society thinks a girl like me should do, what a parent think what I should do, what teachers think I should do. The problem with that, well, of course that is a good thing because by doing that, I was able to somehow get into the top university here in Shanghai and also later on got into a top university in London, right? And that is also on the condition that here I was also born in Shanghai and also born in a family that is considered to be relatively open minded. So for that, I feel myself to be quite lucky. So in my family, I have an aunt. Okay, I have an aunt who's my mother's younger sister. So she was in the last generation, but somehow she was very successful in her career. So she somehow set a role model. So she, after graduating from Fudan University, actually went on to pursue a master degree in New Zealand. And she had this overseas education experience and afterwards returned back to China and then started working in a big, large firm. And then somehow nowadays has become CEO of Asia CEO or China CEO, I forgot. Anyhow, like the very top roles inside a Fortune 500 big company. So she somehow set a very big role model inside the family, and somehow she becomes the kind of person I look up to. And somehow I feel like I should just follow her path. And my mom would also tell me that you should just follow her path and study hard and also get into a top university and then go overseas to study and then afterwards get into one of the top companies in the world, and that is the path that you should walk. Somehow, one thing with good girls, okay, one thing with good girls is that we never question. So I noticed nowadays, like since I started becoming an entrepreneur, I actually hire some of the interns, right? I also, when I was previously working in a large firm, I would also work with like fresh graduates and also interns, right? Who are still uni students. And I would notice one thing. We have discussed it yesterday and the day before yesterday as well. Like I said, that when you look at those good students, one of the things you would observe from them is that somehow they do have a very good quality, which is perseverance. So the reason why they can become a good student and very good at studying is because they really need to just push themselves to just keep on studying for extremely long hours, no matter how boring that is. Somehow that process is not very happy. You do need to have this quality of perseverance in order to just stay by the table and study for hours nonstop, just keep on studying, and that is not easy. So that's why usually for good student they would have this quality of perseverance. However, the problem with that is usually also for those kind of students, because they are wholly focused on studying, somehow the brain is not really relatively speaking, not so as flexible as those kind of students who are not 100% focused on study. On completed 8 years in corporate, and eight is my lucky number. I've been close to startup before. Shashi, great, fantastic. Really, really just keep on doing it. And tell the family in here what your progress, okay? I could, after we finish this topic, I would also share with you guys about the progress of my own entrepreneurial journey, okay? My own startup. It's making a lot of progress, really. I seriously have a lot of confidence that this month, starting from this month, like my own startup this new project, which I literally just started like 2, 3 months ago, okay, together with my team. I have this whole confidence, like full confidence that from starting from this month, we'll start to make money. So, like you guys witness everything with your own eyes, right? When I first started life in late January and early February, we were still discussing about something else, right? It was literally just 2 months, 2.5 months before, right? Literally around 2.5 months before, I started to tell you guys, like share with you guys that I somehow, wanted to do cross-border e-commerce, right? So for those of you who've been in here for a long time, you guys remember that it was not a lie, right? We actually shared and talked about it. Okay, from certain moment, I started to share with you guys that this is something that I wanted to do. So we basically just started doing everything from scratch, and we knew nothing about it. Cross-border e-commerce, we have never done it before, so we literally started from scratch and just do all the online research and just learn from all the tutorials and try to reach out to the official platform and ask for their advice and just learn from every possible way. And afterwards, we started just building everything and started to sort out everything, like overcome all the different kind of challenges and walk all the way till today. So up to now, I could just proudly say that we have finished every single step that you need to experience, every challenge you need to overcome. 就是整个 business 已经形成了闭环了，然后所有的这个产生现金流的路径已经全部都跑通了。So every channel to generate cash flow has been really, really set up by us. I was really proud about that. So starting from this month, I am very confident that we are very likely to have positive cash flow within just 2-3 months time. So if I can do it, Shashi, for sure you can do it too. Okay, for sure you can do it too. So keep it up, and just let everyone us here know. Okay, just let everyone us here know what's the progress. Okay, so for the rest of the family, if there is some new progress going on in your life, if there's something new you want to do, there is a very important chapter in your life, please share with us. This is a very close community. Okay, so we'd be very happy to see everyone having a new chapter in your life. If there is anything any one of us inside the family can help, like we'd be more than happy to help. I'd be more than happy to help. I'm pretty sure many of us here would also be more than happy to help. I want to be a little superstitious and believe this 8th year I break curses. 8 is considered to be a very lucky number here in China. 8 is considered to be the most lucky number here in China. You will notice lots of people. So it's very interesting if you come to here to China to travel. If you go to any restaurant, you ask for the Wi-Fi passcode. You will notice one thing. Literally, like 80% of the restaurant here, when they settle the Wi-Fi code, is either like 88888 or like 66888. For sure, there's an 8 in here. Like 80% of the restaurants here, when they set up their Wi-Fi code, is always like with 8. So 8 is considered to be a very lucky number in here. So Shashi, the fact you think 8 is your lucky number, you're actually just having the same kind of consensus here with Chinese people that 8 is considered to be very lucky. 会中文吗？宝子啊，我就是中国人呢，我就是中国人，果糖。诶，跟中国的宝宝们解释一下，因为这是一个非常国际化的直播间，我们在直播间里边真的有五湖四海，全球各地的宝子啊，各个州的都有，真的各个州，可能除了南极和北极没有，其他什么州的人都有。所以我会大部分时间使用英文，但也会使用一些中文去沟通。那么我们今天的主要的话题呢，是围绕着高考，因为这几天是高考嘛。所以我想到的一个话题就是，如果我可以重新高考一次，重新再上大学一次，重新的再过一遍自己的人生，有什么样的事情是我会去做的？Yes, I learned about number 8 in China. 2008 Olympics were all 8. Exactly. So 8, the reason why 8 is considered to be a lucky number here in China is because when we say 8 here in Chinese, it is 八. And 八 across all the different numbers has the most similar pronunciation to 发, which means becoming rich, having lots of money. Chinese people really love money. So that is why of all the different numbers, if that is a number that has the closest pronunciation to becoming rich, then somehow we just love it. So that is why 8 is considered to be a very good number here in China. 人生没有多少个如果，青春就一次。对，青春确实只有一次，但是作为过来人，如果我能够复盘一下自己的人生，那这当中有很多的建议可以在直播间分享，或许也能够帮助到很多还没有度过我曾经度过的这一个 period 的一个宝子们，对吧？My birthday 26th, 2 plus 6 equals 8. With all your blessings, this should be my year. Go Shashi. Go Shashi. 哪个国家的人不喜欢钱？说的也对，确实，所有国家人都喜欢钱。And man, have you guys follow me? Is there anyone who hasn't followed me? Please follow me if you haven't done so, okay? Please follow me, haven't done so. 青春无限制就是心态的青春，说的太好了，户外控，给你点赞。给你点赞, okay? So back to the topic, I was saying, like I was sharing with you guys about I noticed that students, like I said, that I was considered to be an extremely good student, right? I was considered to be a really good student. And one of the problem I noticed of myself, and also after I started working and have worked with students who are considered to be the good student, the students who are not considered to be the good students, I noticed one thing. So for the good students, one of the good quality they usually all have is perseverance. Like I said, if they want to reach really high score, really study very hard, then they must have this quality of perseverance, because without perseverance, there is no way that they could just sit by the table for long hours throughout the day to just keep on focusing on studying, right? And one of the problem is if this student is 100% focused on studying alone, then usually somehow they do they just lack a little bit of a rebellious the kind of thing in their heart. That was also the problem with me back then. So I basically just walk the kind of journey, the kind of life path that was designed by my family. So my mom told me this is the place where you should go. Oh, this is the senior high school you should go to. Okay, you should just achieve high score in your senior high school school examination to go to this school. Oh, and then afterwards, this is a university you should go to. Oh, after this university, you should just go overseas to study in some good university out there to get your postgrad degree, and afterwards you need to start working in one of the largest the top corporate. So this is the kind of path that somehow is designed by the family. Okay, 说的真好，就是没听懂。还是那一句话好，去下载一个东西叫讯飞听见，讯飞听见那个 APP 是这个直播间的其他宝子们推荐的，说下完以后好像听英文下面就有中文字幕，挺神奇的，据说非常的推荐，很好，叫讯飞听见。OK，讯飞听见要给我付广告费了，我经常在里面给他打广告。OK，Hi, I'm Oversea. Yeah, so have you guys follow me? Oversea, have you follow me? Haven't follow me, please. Okay. Yeah. Also, back to the topic, right? I was basically saying that I was walking the kind of path that was designed by my family, by my mom specifically. So I also shared with some of you guys before that I had this very important traveling trip, which is to Morocco, right? Somehow I had this like near death experience. We could find another time to reshare about the story. It must be very interesting to many people. So I had a near death experience in my life. Okay. And somehow, also during this trip, I was able to meet lots of interesting people who really talked to me and started to ask me those kind of questions that I never thought about. So before, I never really thought. So one of the friend I met during this trip asked me is, "Do you consider a life with a goal to be easier, or a life without a goal to be easier?" What is somehow? It's SOMEHAO. Somehow. How to translate somehow? Somehow 中文翻译怎么翻呢？Somehow. Somehow 很习惯用这个词，但是你突然间问我中文怎么翻，我还突然间一下子想不出来这个中文要怎么翻。Somehow 好，somehow 有谁帮我一下 somehow 怎么翻译？给两个这个虎头宝宝解释一下 somehow 是什么意思？嗯，哎，还真的一下子想不起来商号这个中文是什么意思哈，但是英文讲商号就讲得很顺。嗯，然而不管如何，对对对，反正就是以某种方式，对，就是这个意思啊。虎头宝宝，关注我了吗？记得关注我哈。呀，怎么说呢？对对，somehow 有点这个怎么说呢？有点这种感觉。对对，不管怎么样，就这种感觉的哈。OK，Yeah. So I was able to meet a very amazing friend, and so she asked me this question. This question is, do you consider a life with goals to be easier, or a life without goals to be easier? So let me ask you this question. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you consider a life with very clear targets, very clear goals to be easier, or a life without clear targets or clear goals to be easier? Okay, if you think a life with goals to be easier, type 1. If you think a life without goals to be easier, type 2. Okay, let's have some interaction, guys. Just tell me which one do you think is better? Do you think a life with goals to be easier? Type 1. If you think life without goals to be easier, type 2. Okay, which one? Okay, we need to have more interaction. Okay，Density Hunter 找工作，好的，你在这边好，我这个很快结束，这块讲完以后，我来解答你的问题啊。先等一下，因为我们这样讲到一半，好吗？Density Hunter 看到了，挺好的，你很守约哈。I like it, I like it. Okay, guys, which one do you think? Do you think like to my mind because I never thought like, oh, okay, so I've always been. I told you guys I was a very good girl back then. Well, still I am, but I mean like the kind of good is by the definition, okay, by the definition, according to the steer on what a good girl should be doing, what is the anticipation from the mom, from the parent, from the family, what a good girl should be doing. So these are the goals set by the family, by the society, and I never really thought whether these are the things that I want to achieve by myself. So the answer to that question is when this friend I met during this Morocco trip really asked me this question, somehow I realized that, oh my goodness, I have never ever thought about this question. So first of all, I said that when she first asked me this question, my answer to this question is like for sure that like a life without goal is easier, right? If you have a goal, you always need to pursue because the process of pursuing something is actually very hard. Don't you guys agree, right? When you set up goal, so if you just live every day, like very randomly and somehow watching television every single day, right? Isn't that easy? But somehow you set up a goal like, oh, I want to get into this university. I want to achieve this. I want to achieve success in my entrepreneur, something like that. Isn't that considered to be hard? So somehow I said, like, yeah, for sure, like a life with target or with goals must be harder, right? A life without goals or without target to be easier, right? I said something like that. But somehow she started to analyze the whole thing with me. She started to say, like, the problem is that if you're only looking at a short period of your life, if you're looking at a broader perspective, looking at your entire life, a life without goals would also mean that a life without point. As a matter of fact, life itself is pretty meaningless, right? Everyone was born into this world, and well, even though there are so many things that can happen to your life, there is only one thing that is so certain in everyone's life is that for sure that you will just leave this world eventually, right? That is for sure. So, like, if so, eventually, if everyone will have to die, then what is the point of life in here, right? What is the point? What is the meaning in here? So, if you do not set up goals, which means that your life is like even more pointless, then potentially you would actually have a very miserable life because every day you would just wonder, like, what am I doing? What I do? So, this girl who asked me this question, so she's actually from a very top university here in China and she studied philosophy. So she started to really think about those questions, wonder those very deep questions in a very early age. The problem with that is she's at a very young age and her life experience was not enough to support her to think about those kind of questions. So the kind of conclusion she got from those kind of thinking is that okay, life is meaningless. There's no point of me just living in this world. Somehow there was a period of time during her university years that she really wanted to commit suicide because she really did not know what's her point of living in this world. So that is why that she actually read all the books in the library that is related to psychology and also philosophy. And then in the end of the day, oh, then she somehow just walked out of the door and somehow realized, okay, what are the things that I should do? What are the things that I should not do? And somehow one of the conclusions she got is I am the one to define my life. I am the one to set the goal. I am the one to really, really try the kind of things I want to try. And it is so important to follow my heart. Density Hunter，他非常切实际。这个也是我等一下我会跟你在讲就业这个事情里边会融会贯通去讲的一个点。OK，等一下我会连通去讲的，你这个先慢慢听哈，先慢慢的听。OK。So she started to say that, right? And then, okay, somehow after she said that, I started to really, really, really think about it. I started to really realize, okay, so far in my life, every goal that I wanted to pursue, I never really, really questioned if that is the goal I want to pursue. I always just pursue the goal that is considered to be a good goal, a kind of target that is set by the family. And somehow, so far till then, like all the journey I have walked path in my life was just basically following the parents, parents will, and somehow was always about pleasing others, pleasing the family, pleasing the society's expectation, and somehow was never about me. Okay, it was never about me. So I never ever really questioned myself, really questioned my heart. What are the things I want to do? What are the things that is in my heart? And I never realized that I what it means by following my heart. Okay, I never realized that, so I really started thinking about. But that was like pretty late, late point of my time. I was in my late 20th. Okay, I was in my late 20th, so I started to think about those kind of very deep questions I really to do. So after thinking about all those kind of questions, after thinking about all those kind of questions, density, here, okay, listen to me, okay. So after thinking about all those questions, that is why that later on I decided to quit my job, okay. So I decided to start doing something new, right? I started to feel like I must try something new. I must follow my heart. I need to do this, need to do that, And also I share with lots of you guys some people, the one of the reason why I did that is also because back then I was very lucky to listen to one of the very successful entrepreneurs speech, and somehow he shared with some uni students to say that you know what, as a young person, it is very important to do something you're passionate about, to follow your heart, right? But I was like, oh, everyone knows that they need to do something they like, right? Everyone knows that they need to do something they're passionate about. But the problem with a lot of us is we never know what is passionate, right? What is passionate? What is the thing we're passionate about? So he later on gave another advice, which is, you know, you could actually just try. You're young. One of the thing about being young is you have plenty of time to just try, right? So that is why like you just go try different kind of jobs. Density hunter, I could also answer your question. So a lot of people, I do also have I share with you another story, okay? I share with you another story, which is one of the my ex-colleagues. So after quitting that bank and joined one of this little startup here in China, so that's the first step I took after I have this kind of self wake up. Okay, so I quitted this large firm and then like a very good position and very high salaries and started joining a very small startup. Okay, and somehow I met this colleague, and later on, like I quitted that startup as well and started doing what I'm doing right now, right? And somehow he said one thing after seeing me starting to do startup myself, and he said one thing. He said that so he was pretty miserable all the time. Okay, he's very miserable in his current job. So somehow making a mediocre kind of salary, very stable, but somehow he just every day complain about his job. Okay, every day complain about his job every single day. So I said, like, to be honest, because I work with him every day, single day, so I know that this person is actually quite talented. He's not someone who's just like with no talent at all and somehow just every day just doing nothing because like not talented. He's actually quite talented. No, no, not in IBD. Okay, he's inside my startup company, my previous startup, the previous startup company I worked with. Okay，不是，他是在我这个从那个摩根大通出来，本来不想透露我的这个公司的，我是从那个就是我之前的这个银行出来了以后去的这一家这个创业公司。OK，在这家创业公司里边的这个一个同事。OK，Yeah，so yeah, guys, follow me, please. You haven't done so. Okay. Follow me, please. You haven't done so. So somehow what happened is that, so he said something. So he really did not understand that I would want to quit such a large firm and join the startup. And later I wanted to do my startup, right? So according to him, like he's kind of, thinking is that, oh, actually going to those large firm is the best option. If you can find a spot in those kind of large firms, somehow that is the thing that you need to do. And somehow that is the kind of thing that is the best job ever. That is the destination. That is all. So he could never really understand that why I wanted to quit that large firm and started to just join this startup and then just come to some other jobs and even do a startup. So I actually really encouraged him to say, I always say that you should actually just you should actually just try something new. Like you should just quit your job. Since you're so unhappy with your job, you're complaining about it so many times, right? Why don't you just quit your job? 你不理解，我现在在跟你解释嘛，我现在在跟你解释，但是你耐心一点哈，慢慢听。但是欢迎你在评论区互动哈，你在这个评论区，大家在评论区互动越多，写的话越多，甚至可以像桃子一样哈，桃子就随便打2、3、4、5也是很好的。这种互动越多，因为它的算法是不会识别你在评论区里边写的是什么，只要大家在评论区里面去留言，这个直播间的人气就会更旺哈，它就能推给更多的人，所以大家随便写哈，评论区随便写，只要不是骂人的话，be polite is good，OK？我知道你是认真发问哈，我现在慢慢的去来把这个展开来去讲哈，讲的很慢。Okay, so I was saying that. So he actually, I really encourage him to quit his job since he's not so happy with his job. Well, actually, not only not happy, he's actually complaining about every single day, right? I said if you're complaining about every single day, that means that you're not happy with it, then you should just change, right? If there's nothing you could change about this job, you cannot change about this company, you cannot change this boss, then what you can do is just quit it and find another opportunity, right? And you're not considered to be like, according to me, I have seen so many people like extremely talented, extremely dumb. You are considered to be someone at least with some talent. So I know that if you are able to just take this extra step and find some job elsewhere, I'm pretty sure that you can also perform pretty well. And then somehow he said something to me like this. He said that in a life there are 3 stages you need to experience to be a full person. The first stage is to realize that your parents are ordinary people. And the second thing is to realize that you yourself are an ordinary person. And the third stage is to realize your children are ordinary person. So he said that I have actually experienced the 3 stages, all the 3 stages. So there is nothing else I could expect in my life. So that is why I just stay in here and just gonna spend my rest of life like this. And I said that, oh my God, I haven't ever actually experienced this. Well, I've already experienced the first stage. I realized that my parents are just ordinary people, not no one special. And I haven't really realized the second stage, which is I don't consider myself to be ordinary, right? I consider myself to be extraordinary, right? I said that, I haven't really even come to the second stage. And then he said that, oh, yeah, so because you are not ordinary, so you were able to work in that firm before that means you were not ordinary, right? And then he said the very next thing. So he said the very next thing. So the very next sentence honestly really made me feel somehow not so comfortable because back then was during the period when I first started my startup and everything was literally still in a mess. I was still trying to figure out. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of self-doubt whether I will be successful or not. So he said the very second thing. He said that, but if you keep on living your life, doing your career like this, very soon you will pass your second stage to realize that you are an ordinary person. So when he said that, that is a very indirect way of saying that the fact that you quit your previous job, that very fancy big investment bank, is a very big mistake. The fact you start your own career as an entrepreneur, doing your own startup, eventually you will just fail, right? Eventually, actually, this is the kind of thing he said, but he said in a very direct way. He said that, okay, if you keep on just doing like this, not working in those large, like, glamorous kind of firm, that is how you're gonna just become an ordinary person. That actually just made me a little bit uncomfortable back then. But honestly, after that, I actually thought about what he said. And I started to realize, okay, if he's able to say something like that, that really means he's an ordinary person. That is something that an ordinary person would say. That is not something not an ordinary person would say. Okay? He's a very ordinary person in a sense that this is so far what he could see. So far he could see. 什么认真的吗？你还是在谦虚？我 quit 的时候我是 VP，我 quit 是 VP，OK，之后的话我就加入创业公司，再然后就开始自己创业了啊，基本上是这样。Yeah, and true, right? Shashi, you agree, right? You, Shashi, agree? Yeah. Nytrix, we have grown together. I saw it. Yeah, exactly, Hoa, you saw it, right? So, yeah, so he has very low risk tolerance, right? you if you want to be someone who's extraordinary, then there's no way that you're gonna be very low risk tolerance. I also said one thing before share with you guys, right? I said that if I look back in my life, right? Well, if I could actually just so the reason why I started doing becoming an entrepreneur doing my startup is, well, maybe you could argue that yeah, it is true that if today I'm still inside those large investment bank and still taking my previous role, I'm definitely making multi-millions every year for sure by this time, right? If I could just keep working in those kind of firm, which is a very decent salary, right? However, I'm thinking, I really truly believe that if, say if, okay, if I just change a different path, doing the path, so there, if there are like parallel space, there is another me who's doing the kind of job like before, it always inside this large bank, earning a big salary, right? Compared to the me today. And we're looking from now on till 10 years later, okay? Let's give me this like 10 years time. I'm pretty sure the me today will reach a way, way, way higher point compared to the me in the parallel space that is working in the investment bank. Okay? In the investment bank. So, entrepreneur, becoming an entrepreneur, it's, well, I also agree that not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Everyone can start at a startup. So, you need to really understand yourself. What is your strength? What is your weakness? So, you must have certain qualities to be a successful entrepreneur. So far, I'm not considered to be successful, but I do believe, I do have this confidence that I can be a successful entrepreneur because I do see in myself, I do have those kind of quality, such as entrepreneurial, such as like perseverance. This is my very best quality, okay? Perseverance, and I consider myself to be quite smart, very flexible, always not afraid of challenges, and actually come up with lots of new ideas, right? And I am really good at networking with people, so I have really good people skill. That is also my strength. So I have like lots of strength. Those kind of the strength actually add up. I consider to be the kind of must for a very successful entrepreneur. So 什么？这样你的本金就更多了。看一下，请问为什么不做到 director 再出来呢？让你的本金更多嘛？我甚至觉得我出来的 those large bank。You could start train your skills and build your capacity, build your abilities through different kind of path. I really understand what you think because you're at a relatively younger age, and also just so you know that I said to you that you know I had this ex colleague work in this startup, so he only worked in the startup, so that is why like he never really been to those large platforms, been to those large banks, those large companies. So according to him, the ability to work in those large companies is considered to be the best option. So that's why his reaction to me to see me starting to do startup is like, really? Why do you want to quit that company to do a startup like this? But you know what? You know what? When I really talk to my ex colleagues work inside those large company back then in the investment bank, when I share with them, this is something I am doing right now. They actually, their reaction is not like, oh, what a pity that you actually quit this firm and started doing this startup. Everyone was like, oh my God, you are amazing that you wanted to do startup. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do it very well. You're so courageous to do a startup. Now, I mean, like it's not easy to just give up a golden bowl, right? 一个金饭碗 and then somehow start to do something like this. You're amazing. I really, really wish you a big success. Everyone is basically feeling a little bit jealous that I am able to have this courage and take the extra step and going out and do a startup, be an entrepreneur, something like that. So you see the difference. So for people who have been in those large company, they know what's the kind of life it is to be inside those large company. Maybe so to density hunter, maybe to you nowadays, you might consider, oh, the kind of job eventually to be a partner, to be an MD, to be blah 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 inside those large companies to be the best kind of option. Wait till you join those kind of companies, okay? So density hunter, if there's a chance, I hope there's a chance that you will be able to join those large company in the future. It looks like that is the kind of thing that you really want to do, but I could also give you some advice like how to join those large firm, okay? I could also give you some advice how to join those large firm. But before that, so let's say if you want in the future, you can get into those large firm, you will notice one thing, which is a job like that which you consider to be the most ideal eventually, it's not considered to be ideal。你会发现，就是你进到这里边以后，你就会发现这里边的工作其实并不是你想象中的这么好的，并不是说好像去到了这种大的投行里边去工作，好像这就是世界上最好的工作了。你会发现一件事情，你会发现说，在这里边它也会有很多不尽如人意的地方，不尽如人意的地方。So it's also okay. So maybe I can use a metaphor so that you can understand it better. Okay, understand it better. So, for example, I'm not so sure if you've been to many relationships before. Have you dated a lot of people before? So we know that when you want to marry someone, when you want to date someone as a younger person, as a young age, there must be something that is, you just say that, okay. So for example, when girls were young, okay, including me, right? We also discussed about it before. Like I said, like when I was young, like I feel like, oh, Prince William is so handsome. Oh, if I could marry Prince William one day in the future, that would be terrific, something like that. And also the kind of guy we want to marry when we were like really young in the teenager years and also in the early 20th would be the kind of guys who's like very successful, very handsome. ah you know those are considered to be the most important thing. However, eventually when we really become more mature, really experience lots of things, lots of people, and also really had several relationships ourselves, we realize that a person being very rich, a person being very successful, a person being very handsome might not be the most important thing. Might not be the most important thing. The most important thing to many of us also depends on different people. Okay, for some people, okay, whether this person is family oriented might be considered to be the best, most important thing. Or another person another girl who might start to view whether a man has a very strong sense of responsibility to be the most important thing rather than whether this person is rich or not. The reason why lots of the people, lots of the girls, when we were in a younger age, wanted to marry someone who's rich, someone who's successful. First of all, it's maybe because when we were little, we watched too many drama, right? Too many drama. Mom somehow just brainwashed us. Oh, marrying someone who's like, oh, very rich, successful, 什么霸道总裁爱上我这种脑残偶像剧看多了，就觉得好像那种是最好的，对不对？and the second thing is if you're married with someone that is like rich, successful, that is something that you can just brag about. However, it's after the really lot of experience in life, then you realize that these are not really the thing that is considered to be the most important to you, right? At the end of the day, what's more important when it comes to relationship is whether you can find one that is suitable to you, right? Personality wise, suitable for you, or anything else that is suitable for you. That also applies to job. Maybe going to those large companies, earning a very big salary, becoming a very big role somehow in those kind of company is considered to be just like, finding, yeah, exactly like you said, density hunter. 其实很多时候都是一种虚荣心和自尊在作祟。你会觉得说啊，如果我能去这家公司的话，我就可以跟人家炫耀说啊，你知道吗？我是这一家公司里边工作，别人就会觉得说哇，你好牛逼啊，你能进这家公司。但是你真的进去以后，你就会发现说，其实很多的东西可能并不是你想象的。我有见到很多人，他进去了一个组以后，哎，他发现说这个组里边全部都是在搞办公室政治斗争，这不是的。还有的人进去，他碰到的一个上司跟他的气场是不合的，导致他天天工作很不愉快。还有他会发现，我以为我进去了以后，this is like actually one of the very key problems. Okay, so many people thought like why by joining one of the prestigious investment bank, I would be doing lots of fancy kind of job. The matter of fact is that when you first join those kind of investment bank, those like biggest company, the kind of job you're doing every day, single day, is pretty tedious. Pretty tedious. You probably are just basically doing the job as like making PowerPoints every single day. Okay, um arranging documents every single day, those very tiny tedious job, you would consider those kind of jobs can be completed by a senior high school student when you first join the bank. Okay, 你可能刚进一家公司，你干的工作真的就是一个可能一个高中生都能干的这种非常非常粗糙、枯燥无聊、很低级很激烈的事情。But they expect you to do it and do it well. So that is why lots of people, when they first come to those kind of fancy banks, somehow like one of the thing is there is a big gap. Somehow they feel like, oh, I am 天之骄子. I was able to get in here. I'm so smart. I'm so excellent. I was able to get in here. And somehow I should just do some fancy jobs. But the reality is You're not expected to do those kind of fancy jobs. You're expected to do those most tedious kind of job, the kind of jobs nobody wants to do, and because you're the freshman to this company and you are supposed to do that. That is a kind of reality. So, well, okay, so having said all that, the kind of thing, the kind of message I wanted to convey is that going to a fancy company and doing a fancy, sounds kind of fancy kind of job might not be fancy. It's more important that you need to know what is your strength, what I need to know what my strength is, what my passion lies in, what is the most suitable job for me. It's never about what is the kind of job everyone else think is good. Everyone else think this is a good job, this is a good place. Well, if that doesn't really suit me, that doesn't really make me utilize my best skills, then that is not the kind of job I should do. So, for example, back then when I was working in the investment bank, what I felt is that, oh, you know what? Every day was just doing the very same thing. Okay, even though I'm earning a pretty good salary and also I was doing a pretty good job, but somehow you know, I was not very happy. I don't feel very excited about the kind of job I'm doing every day. So whenever it's weekend, I just felt like, "Ah, I want to take a rest. I just want to, completely, whenever the time of my vacation, I just want to forget about job, my work completely. That is actually not a good sign. Like, for example, when I started my business right now, when I'm doing entrepreneur, like, for example, yesterday. So I share with you guys, right, that for this month, we started to make real big progress and have this confidence that starting this month, we'll make positive cash flow, right? I got so excited. So that's why, like, yesterday night, I actually woke up extremely early this morning and I couldn't really fall asleep again. The reason why I couldn't fall asleep again is simply because I got so excited about my business, like my brain was so excited, it just constantly thinking about how should I run this business and what are the other ideas I have that I can just try, right, to make this business become like better, smoother, and somehow we can become successful very soon, something like that. So I got so excited about what I'm doing every day, and that is the kind of feeling I have. And even though today is Saturday, I just don't want to take a rest. I want to just finish my work as soon as possible so that I can just push it forward. And also the sense of achievement, okay? 这种成就感哈, this sense of achievement is really, really nothing you can get compared to the kind of achievement you get from working in the company. 这个是成就感是完全不同的。当然了，这个也是取决于你首先要对自己有一个非常清晰的认知，一个非常清晰的判断，就是你适合还是不适合，到底什么东西是你想做，什么样东西是不想做的。Okay, so to Density Hunter, are you still in here? Density Hunter, are you still in here? That should be everyone feeling excited. Density Hunter. So there's one thing, okay, my suggestion, my real suggestion to you, okay? So first of all, you need to find a job. That is true because at your age, you probably 你25岁，我现在要提名，我才25岁。You're still young, okay? So you do need a job because you first need to try different jobs to really understand what is the thing that you find is suitable. But my suggestion to you is to lower your expectation, okay? To lower your expectation. The problem is that you are not living, unfortunately, not living in a time where the economy is booming across the globe. You're actually in a time where the economy was pretty shitty everywhere. So by shitty economy, that means there are not plenty of job opportunities like those booming economy time. Probably for those investment banks as well, they do not have as many headcounts as before. So like the thing is that, okay, so first of all, you definitely need to really train yourself good enough to prepare. 我记得我在以前的时候，我当时是怎么做的哈，我来跟你分享一下。我不知道现在这个网站还有没有叫应届生，应届生这个网站现在还有吗？应届生这个网站现在还有吗？So back then there was a website called 应届生. So there are so many people just sharing their experience of interviewing with those large banks, those large companies, and also what are the detailed steps. I did very, very thorough research. I did extremely thorough research about all the companies I wanted to apply for. What are the steps they would have? For example, what are the exams? Usually, the first is to attend an exams. They would give you an exam somehow to test your IQ or what. Okay, so somehow a lot of people, so after they have done those kind of exams, they would actually share those exams in those websites. So the first thing I did is just gather all the exams and I just do all those exams and just prepare myself. 先刷题哈，先把这些题全部都看完了。And then later on, the second step is really to see what are the questions that those people would actually um, have during the interview. I gather all the potential questions and I actually literally just answer all of them. Really think very detailed, very thoroughly. Like if I were faced with this question, what are the answer I should give? 我把所有在网上看到的那些面试当中的问题全部都列出来了，然后每一道问题我自己全部都详细的回答，根据我的情况我应该怎么样的回答。So also one of this advice I want to give you on Density Hunter is that whenever you go to a job interview, people ask you a question, you always answer it from just one perspective, which is what is the value you could give to this company. That is so important. Lots of the students would make this kind of mistake whenever they go for an interview. They were asked a question like, okay, why do you want to do this job, right? 很多时候别人问说，哎，你为什么想要做这个工作？Okay, why do you think? What are you looking for in this job? Right, those kind of questions. Also, tell me more about yourself. Give me a self introduction. And lots of people simply just by answer this question, just answer it. Okay. Oh, so what is why do you want to do this job? They just answer it very honestly by saying that, oh, because I really like this job. Oh, because I think by doing this job, I can learn a lot. This is a pretty common answer I get when I interview all those young students. Many people just come in and say that, oh, because I think this is something that this is a kind of job that I can help me learn a lot. So they answer this question from the perspective that what are the things they can achieve. But as a company, why they want to hire you? They want to hire you. Maybe also they want to hire someone to nurture, to grow. But somehow the most important thing for the company, for the employer, is they want to see what are the value you could bring to them rather than what kind of value they could bring to you, right? So when they ask you this question, why do you want to do this job? The only way, in my opinion, to answer this question is actually the reason why I apply for this job is because I consider myself to be very suitable for this job. The reason why I think this is suitable is because this is the 1, 2, 3 value I can bring to this job. I think I could be very excellent. I could excel in this job. I can be performing better than others in this job. And these are the value I can bring. So that is why I want to do this job. So that is an example, okay? So you just answer every questions. 你把所有的这个题目你全部都看一遍，所有的问题全部看一遍，你就去想一个点，就是你每一个问题你在回答这个面试问题的时候，你如何从我能够给这家公司带来什么样的价值的角度去回答，而不是说啊我能学到什么那种很天真烂漫的回答。所有的面试问题的答案只有一种，那种这是我自己的经验哈。所有去面试的面试问题的答案都只有一种，这种回答就是我能够给你带来什么样的价值，我身上到底有什么样的优势是别人没有的，你为什么需要 hire 我？无论他问什么样的问题，你的回答都是从这个角度去回答。Actually, do you guys see? I actually have a very quite good, relatively speaking, people skills. So, and how to able to master all the interviews, that is also a kind of a people skill. So that is actually one of the very good important advice. Density Hunter, did you take note of that? 记下来了吗？记下来了吗？OK，这个是非常重要的哈，这个是大部分人都会犯的错，但是很重要的一点就是一定要在面试的时候，所有问题的回答都是从那个点去出发的。OK，remember that？OK，what is vibe check？ Vibe check is whether they like you or not， 让别人喜欢你啊。Okay, so if you really want to pass the vibe check, many things you can do. So first of all, definitely practice in front of the mirror. 天天晚上在家对着镜子去练，去讲话。So we also discussed about this Miss Jiang who presented in the Harvard University graduation ceremony. OK， 我们有说那个之前有讨论过这个蒋同学在哈佛大学的毕业典礼 ，right？ So I was discussing that with my husband the other day, right? The reason why, so I said, like, my personal view is that I actually support her. I think she did not a too bad job during the Harvard graduation ceremony, especially as someone who has had so many, kind of professional speech competition before, so I know like she did a pretty good job. Well, actually, not pretty good. Like relatively speaking, not that bad. Not the kind of performance that like had like can actually so many people actually scolded him, right? So one of the thing that I guess after the discussion with my husband, the reason why she got so many people coming to this internet to attack her is only because of the vibe. 我觉得他的这个 vibe 哈，是他最主要被 attack 的一个重要的原因。整个台风还不够好，所以这个台风不够好，就导致会有很多人不喜欢他，然后就攻击他。但是你说他的英文，你说他的这个演讲的内容等等，我觉得是没有问题的。我个人是觉得没有问题的，有点像倪妮哈，确实是。Okay. So, oh, okay, guys. Actually, I have to finish the live stream today early because my mom called me this morning and asked me to help her with something. So that's why I need to leave. So one last sentence to Density Hunter. Density Hunter 最后一句哈，跟你说完之后我得下线了啊。那个我们周一回来再聊哈，周一回来再聊这个继续这个话题。那个是这样的，两件事情。第一，对着镜子去练。OK，这个非常重要，对着镜子去练，不停的去讲来看观察，你甚至可以去录，把自己录下来看回放。这个没办法的，就真的要去练。录下来看回放。Yeah, you just record yourself and look the replay and see what are the problems with you, with your gestures, with your talking, with the speed, with your like eye contact, etc. Okay, that is the first thing. And second thing is to do mock interview. To do mock interview with your parents, with your friends, with anyone, with your teacher, whoever. Just grab a person you know and do a mock interview. So these two things are very important. Okay. 你自己在家里边录，把自己录下来，对着镜子练录，然后录下来看回放。然后呢，第二个就是找 mock interview，不停的去练。在这个练习的过程当中，你会把自己的这个 vibe test 给去提升的。Trust me, okay? Trust me. So 3 advice in total. First thing, oh, actually 4 advice in total. First of all, do enough research. Just gather all the kind of questions you potentially will get in an interview and just think thoroughly and to prepare the answers in advance. That's the first thing. And the second advice is, like I said, you need to just answer all the questions from the perspective. What are the value you could bring to that? OK，是这样的，好，下周一继续聊这个话题。好，我真的得走了，因为我妈让我9点去她那里，我现在才20分钟不到的时间，我得走了。OK，guys，follow me please if you haven't done so。我们下周一继续聊，下周一继续聊，我真的有事儿。早上我妈7点半给我打电话，有急事儿。好，下周一没问题，继续。OK，好，拜拜，拜拜。